I have to be honest with you, I feel more like a game host on a TV show than the director of the prison outreach tonight. Come on down. Thanks everyone for being here and for celebrating the great prison outreach and the miracles that happen each and every day. We have lots of good news to share with you, and we just can't wait to tell you about it. As you know, the month of March is Women's Month, Women's History Month, so we're going to talk a lot about some of the great women leadership we have in the prison outreach. And it's fitting that we're going to start with talking just a little bit about our new BFF. We are so happy to announce that Mackenzie Scott from the Yield Giving Open Call has provided Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach with a $2 million award. We love that Mackenzie Scott is leading the way of teaching the rich and men how to give generously to the most in need. We are confident that these dollars will ensure that the Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach will be able to continue housing at least 125 people each night for at least 40 more years, probably a whole lot more. Elizabeth Martinez, our operation administrator who wrote the grant, will be speaking a little bit more later, so can't wait to hear from her. Well, I've been around for a long time, and as a white male, I get a whole lot of credit for the prison outreach. But you should know, there was a woman, Nia Weifels, who had first had the vision for the prison outreach. In 1980, she started what was called the Rogers House Program for homeless men coming out of Attica Prison and Auburn Prison. I was a volunteer at the time and a live-in staff resident, but Nia Weifels was the visionary. The start of the women's program happened one day when Sister Margie and I showed up for a weekly group on Friday at Groveland Prison. It was a men's prison, but somehow overnight it was converted from a man's prison to a women's prison. Well, we looked at each other and said, now what are we going to do? Well, the guard said to us, you're welcome to come and visit the women. Sister Margie said, come on, Smitty, let's do it. I said, I don't know, Margie. Sounds pretty scary to me. She reminded me that we had run a men's group in Attica Prison for people who were serving life sentences. I was still thinking about it, and Sister Margie was 5 feet ahead of me, heading into the prison. I had to run to catch up to her. Thank you, Sister Margie, for paving the way. Thank you for your commitment to visiting those who are incarcerated. So we started visiting the women in prison each week, and it wasn't long before one of the women in our group was ready to be released. She had told us that if she went back to New York City or her home, she was quite certain that she'd return to the life of the streets and was concerned that she might die out there. I came home and I talked to Julie, my wife, about it, what options were available to the women. And Julie said, we have extra room. I said, what? I don't think so. She said, yeah, we got a lot of room. I said, well, we got 2 babies. Your sister-in-laws are always here. And she was right. We had plenty of room. And so we made room for the first woman to come to live with Julie and I. Not too long later, 2 other women needed a place to stay. And we knew that by opening our home, we might be able to help somebody save a life. So Julie said, of course, we'll take the women in. And we made room for them. So thank you, Julie, for your incredible gift of unconditional love. Thank you for not counting the cost. And thank all women for giving unconditionally and not counting the cost. We as men so desperately need to learn that, and we are very grateful. Thank you. Well, Judy Simser started the first woman's house. It was called Pearl House, and the second house was named Jennifer House. Delina Harper was the second director there, Sarah Lee the third, and today, Lisa Buscemi. Come on, stand up, Lisa. She is the director of Jennifer House. She has filled her predecessor's shoes beautifully. She loves the residents to pieces, and they know that. In May, she will graduate from MCC, and she is committed to doing this work until it is time for her to retire. We are so fortunate to have you, Lisa. And so thank you for filling the house of Jennifer House with just such great love. And for the staff of Jennifer House that surround you, could you raise your hand? Thank you so much. There was also a woman who started the first men's house, our Nielsen House. That again was Judy Simser, and the first director was Miss Wanda Johnson. Today we are very fortunate to have Jeanette Rosario Lugo at the house, at Nielsen House. She's not here tonight because she's out ill, but she balances our Nielsen House men's team off beautifully as a solid woman, and we're very grateful for her. I want to give a shout out to Deshaun McLemore. Deshaun, could you stand up? Deshaun is our permanent supportive housing coordinator. She oversees Flower City 1, Flower City 2, Voters Block, Frederick Douglass, and soon Federal Street. Deshaun was recently recognized by Bank of America through our competitive national grants as an emerging leader of the Spiritus Christi prison outreach. Deshaun is passionate about this work and is a fierce advocate for the adults and children we serve. Please give a shout out to Deshaun. We have incredible partners with Home Leasing. Home Leasing has provided a suite of housing for us to be able to have the graduates from Jennifer House and Nielsen House go to. They treat all of our residents with great dignity and respect. So I wondered if the women from Home Leasing would just raise your hands and let's all give a shout out to them. Thank you so much. Todd's already mentioned, but we have some great women leadership on our board. If you wouldn't mind raising your hand, and we'll give you also a shout out. And when we talk about women's leadership, Myra. Please stand up. I saw a picture of you, Myra, in the bulletin. You were with Eileen and I. We were so young.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I wasn't that young. You were really young. You look like a kid. But you have taught me and the staff of our community about white privilege and white supremacy. You have done so with grace and compassion. I am honored to say that I was fired with Myra from the Diocese of Rochester. I remember a staff retreat where the diocese was so tired of us, they said, go away, go on a retreat, and figure out how to say goodbye to each other. So we got on this retreat, and we were all pretty heavy for the first hour or two. But then we said, hey, we really don't want to separate. Let's stay together. And so we decided to figure out, how can we stay together? Well, Myra was in my small group, and together we took these 3 paper plates. Do you remember this?
I do remember.
And we called it Corpus Christi International. One was for the church, one was for our outreaches, and one was for our international ministries. We called it Corpus Christi International. Well, today we all know that it is known as Spiritus Christi International. It was clear that God had great plans for Myra as she would become pastor of Spiritus Christi Church. When I was there when Myra found her voice. She said, I want to be the future pastor of Spiritus Christi Church. She was met with opposition, but she persevered. She was told, you need a doctoral degree. I can do that. And she did. Tireless. As a community leader in the city of Rochester, we have watched her stand between the police forces and protesters to disarm the potentially violent situation. I know no one who works harder than she, and I swear she puts in 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Only her assistant Tarja, really knows how hard she works. Tarja now wears running shoes just to keep up with her. The residents of Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach are so grateful for your leadership, and they know that you believe in them, and they know that you got their back. For the staff of the Prison Outreach, we often say, what would Myra do? You are our conscience. It's all right. I'll get through this. I attended a recent Spark event at Spiritus Christi Church, and I listened to Senator Sanders recognize Myra as a statewide and national leader. He reverenced her as Pastor Reverend Dr. Myra Brown. We have no idea of the incredible leader that we have in our midst. We need to listen to her, support her. She is on fire for justice. She loves this church with her heart. Our church is booming. We are going places. We need to stand with her, listen to her, support her. So please stand with Myra and give her the biggest round of applause. Thank you, Myra. By the way, I love your outfit.
We're twinning, Jim.
Tonight we are celebrating Sharon Castronova's 20th anniversary of working in the prison. So the community knows that I am the director of the Prison Outreach, but everybody who works in the Prison Outreach knows Sharon runs the place. It's true. Many years ago, a volunteer administrative named Carol said, "It's time we hire an administrative assistant." We interviewed Sharon, and Carol said to me after the interview, "If you hire this young woman, this place is really going to grow." Sharon has worked tirelessly to secure state grants, federal grants, city grants, and we got them. Every year we have to enter into a highly competitive process with HUD grants. It has $250,000 of our budget. It's never guaranteed. Every year we have to apply again. All year long, we work to keep our programs competitive. Sharon is always focusing on calling us to the highest level of standard we possibly can so that our outcomes, our reports are near perfect. She leads all of us in this team of 35 people, calling us to a level of excellence and so much more. Often in supervision over the years, I've said to Sharon, you're doing 3 jobs. And so we figured out how to write job descriptions of 2 of the jobs so she could keep one. We hire 2 people, and within a minute of time, they are incredibly busy. And then I say, Sharon, we need to hire another person. So we hire a 3rd person. And sure enough, they get super busy. And Sharon is always still doing the job of 2. Sometimes today, the people of HUD from our governmental grants call her and ask her for advice. She has a great reputation locally, statewide, and as the incredible administrator of state and federal grants. She does so with the highest level of integrity and transparency. Sharon has laid a foundation for which we have become a nationally recognized competitive organization, and it attracted a funder like Mackenzie Scott's. Thank you, Sharon. When things get crazy at the prison outreach and overwhelming, which happens on a daily basis, I love to remind Sharon, we used to be small before you came. It's your fault. We now are a $2 million organization with 35 employees. And because of Sharon, our organization is thriving. I love working with Sharon. Please give Sharon a great applause. because we're raising up women, it's so important to hear the women's voices tonight. Let me give you
Thanks, Jim. Good evening, everybody. As you know, I'm Sharon Castronovo, Business Manager of the Prison Outreach. As I'm up here looking around this amazing group of people, I'm filled with gratitude and purpose. I have worked for an organization that has dedicated its existence to giving individuals that need it most a voice for 20 years. This is more than a job to me. It's been a calling, a passion, and a source of immense fulfillment. Tonight, I'd like to shine a spotlight on a group of unsung heroes whose contribution often go unnoticed, but are absolutely essential to the success of the prison outreach. I'm talking about the dedicated, all-female, get-it-done administrative team of the Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach. Every day, our administrative team faces a myriad of challenges, responsibilities, from juggling deadlines to navigating complex regulations and policies, yet they do it with grace, professionalism, and unwavering dedication, always putting the needs of our clients and the mission of our organization first. Their work may not always be glamorous or visible, but it's absolutely indispensable. Without their expertise, attention to detail, tireless efforts, our organization simply could not function as effectively as it does. They are the unsung heroes, the quiet champions, and the beating heart of our not-for-profit family. As we gather here to celebrate our shared vision of compassion, equity, and social justice, I'd like to introduce the Prison Outreach Admin Team. First, it's with great pleasure to introduce a rising star within our organization, someone whose dedication, intelligence, and passion for our ministry have already made a significant impact in our work. Susan Bernhardt. Susan. Susan is our government grants administrator and has also taken on the role of housing administrator. Susan brings a fresh perspective and a wealth of talent to the prison outreach. This past year, Susan has demonstrated the remarkable ability to dive into complex grants reporting requirements and possesses a keen analytical mind and a sharp attention to detail, ensuring our grant reports and rental subsidy payments are accurate and thorough. Susan's contributions go far beyond rental subsidies and grant reporting. She is a true champion of housing justice, working to address systemic barriers and inequities that contribute to housing insecurity. Thank you, Susan, for all you do. You are truly making a difference in the lives of those we serve, and we are grateful to have you on the team. Shannon's gonna hate me for this. Another indispensable member for the team whose dedication, efficiency, compassion are the backbone of our daily operations is Shannon Shaw. Shannon is our office administrator in the heartbeat of the prison outreach, ensuring the office runs smoothly and efficiently, all while focusing on our mission. Shannon wears many hats, from coordinating payroll, managing staff training, getting Luther to hand in receipts on time, to handling all different administrative tasks, all the while providing support to the staff and clients. She's a master of multitasking, effortlessly juggling priorities with grace and professionalism. What truly set Shannon apart is her genuine care and concern for those we serve. She goes above and beyond to ensure that they feel welcome, supported, and valued. Thank you, Shannon, for all you do. You're an essential part of our organization's success, and I'm honored to work alongside you. It's a distinct honor and privilege to mention someone who exemplifies the spirit of dedication, compassion, and leadership that defines the Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach, Elizabeth Martinez. Elizabeth is our operations administrator that embodies the heart and soul of the prison outreach. bringing a wealth of skills, expertise, and unwavering commitment to every aspect of her role. Elizabeth is the driving force behind the prison outreach's ability to secure vital funding from private grants. Her ability to capture the human dimension of our work is truly remarkable and is the testament to her passion for social justice and equity. In addition to her amazing skills, Elizabeth brings a spirit of warmth, kindness, and empathy to her work. She is always ready with a smile, a listening ear, and a helping hand, making her an invaluable asset to our organization and our community. And with that said, it's a pleasure to introduce Elizabeth Martinez to say a few words. Thank you.
I assure you that if I had known when I applied for that $2 million grant that I would have to give a speech, I wouldn't have done it. Raise your hand if you have seen the Barbie movie. Hi, Barbie! For those who haven't seen it, it is an existential delight and jam-packed with important lessons. One of the lessons is women should take credit for their work. For example, one scene shows lots of Barbies and a couple of Kens at an award ceremony where a Barbie dignitary is giving the Nobel Prize in Journalism to a Barbie named C2. C2 steps up to the microphone to accept her award and says, "I worked very hard, so I deserve it." I recently achieved one of the greatest accomplishments of my career, which was winning a $2 million grant from the Yield Giving Open Call, and therefore, I'd like to invite all of you to give me a thunderous round of applause. I worked very hard, so I deserve that. Another one of my favorite lessons from the movie, as described by Dr. Stephanie Johnson at UC Boulder, is a lesson in leadership. Give credit to your team. Toward the end of the movie, Barbie is congratulated for a major accomplishment, which I won't spoil. But in response, Barbie proudly states that was very much a group effort. In that spirit, I'd like to state the following. My proposal goes far beyond me. Everyone in this room, everyone, is the grant. Without you, there is nothing to propose. And so, I'd like to explain to you how you come up in the questions posed in grant proposals. First of all, I wrote like 4 paragraphs about the importance of fiscal responsibility and administrative excellence. But then I proofread Jim and Sharon's speeches, so I won't go into that. You all are doing a great job. Keep it up. So instead, I'll start with Jean Hawks. Jean wrote grants for SCPO for years, as a volunteer, I might add. She left me with a stack of well-written grants to reference, and she lives on in every grant I write. I never had the pleasure of meeting Jean in person, though I did get to talk to her once over the phone. She passed away in 2023. Some of you may know that she was hesitant, to put it lightly, to trust me to do this job well. I've heard she wouldn't even use my name when she was talking to Sharon. Jean, I hope I've earned your trust. We honored Jean with a memorial leaf on the Maureen Nielsen Tree of Life at Nielsen House, so she's been honored that way. To SCPO staff, you are the individuals carrying out the mission, and you make up most of the grant. Grants pose the question, what are you going to do? When I answer that, I describe all of the activities, plans, case management, and groups that you run, how you advocate for the needs of so many. Without you, there is no program. Grants also ask about your credentials and your qualifications. It's always so hard to stay within the word limits because you're all so damn accomplished. Chill. The advisory board. For every grant I write, I copy and paste the list of your names. It's usually the first question, so thank you for that. It asks for your names and your affiliations. I used to get so nervous before board meetings because you'd kind of grill me, as you should, but now I can barely get a word in. I'm honored to have earned your trust. Everyone and every group who has supported SCPO in any way, our community, our neighbors, whether you're a donor, a volunteer, a peer, a partner, or an intern, you all are asked about in grant proposals. Your choice to share your time, money, and resources illustrates to funders that the community is invested in our mission. Grants, of course, will ask about the executive director, Jim Smith. I'm sure that it's not very often that funders get to read proposals from organizations where the executive director has been on board since the beginning. Jim has been with us since the late 1900s. Thanks for caring about this issue since before it was cool to do so, truly. Most importantly, to those for whom these grants are written, everyone the mission serves, you answer the great question of why. Why is this program needed? I, of course, describe the problems of society that cause adversity in your lives and the great need in our community. But I mostly spend time describing who you are, showing the reader that you are not just a person who has been homeless or justice involved. You are so much more than that. You are Jennifer House and Nielsen House. You are apartment renters, homeowners. You are family members, parents, uncles, aunts, cousins, sisters, brothers, grandmas, grandpas. You are community members of Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach. You're in the world, thriving. You are a resident turned staff member or volunteer. You are cookers of meals. You are repairers of things. You are students. You are employees, sometimes for the first time ever. You are maintaining your recovery every single day. You are peers and mentors. You are caretakers of animals and plants. You are advocates. You are public speakers. You are decorators. You are planters of flowers and vegetables. You talk to cats and dogs in high-pitched baby talk voices. You are funny. You go to the doctor, the dentist, the eye doctor. You go to therapy and support groups. You are on healing journeys. You make me cry tears of happiness, cry tears of sadness. You bravely connect with a strange family. You reconnect with your children, or make the courageous act to let go. You set boundaries that were really, really hard to set. You let go of the past. You paint, color, bake, draw. You write poetry, stories, and raps. You work out, you play loud music. You make wooden sculptures. You sit in the sun. You listen to the birds. You snore on couches, resting your soul. You decorate Christmas trees and plan other holiday parties. You like glitter. You like to eat freshly baked cookies. And you get excited about new gadgets. I'm not done yet. You build houses for feral cats. You feed them, and you notice when they need help. You put blankets on Gigi and sneak her bits of dinner. Stop doing that. Gigi's a dog that lives at Nielsen House. You are grateful for things that most people take for granted. You flip old furniture and make it new again. You bravely share your story with the world. You are survivors. You teach others what it means to persevere when facing adversity. You teach others to admit when they are wrong. You explore the meaning of life. You're ponderers and wanderers, philosophers, academics. You enjoy the simple things, the complex things. You are human. You share your lives with me, and therefore share the many hues of your humanity with the readers of what I write. Finally, the group that I honor with every grant that I write is every person in our community who has passed away. We miss you every day. You are not forgotten, and I dedicate my work to you. I wish we didn't have to work so hard to convince funders that our cause is worthy, but I will do what I need to do for as long as I need to do it. You are worth so much more than $2 million, so much more than money raised here tonight and every form of funding we get. Your value is immeasurable. To me, I was supposed to cross that part out. The Barbie movie encourages us to tackle big, complicated topics with a sense of humor. In my life, this often comes in the form of questioning the economic systems in the US that dictate funding in human services. Trust me, I have some thoughts. Thus, I'm going to end with a story about how a Nielsen House resident made me laugh amidst the stress of yet another grant deadline. A few weeks ago, I pulled up to Nielsen House on a Friday, which is unusual because usually I work from home on Fridays. As I got out of the car that morning, a resident noted the break in routine and asked me why I came in. I said that I had a grant proposal spread out on my desk at Nielsen House, and it just seemed easier to pick up where I'd left off. He asked me if I'm the grant writer. I said, well, Sharon writes government grants, and her job is to make sure we can keep the lights on, as she says, whereas my job, and he interrupted me then. And he said, your job is to make sure we can go bowling. I've never heard a better summary of my role here. Cheers to many, many, many more years of bowling. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It was beautiful. We have two courageous individuals who are going to share a bit of their journey with you tonight. I'm going to invite Cindy and Ron to come on up here. As you listen to their stories, just imagine what it'll be like to be able to continue this work for another 40 years.
More than 40, Jim.
More than 40, I know. Yeah, a long, long time. And Cindy is going to go first.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's really an honor to be up here. I'm a little nervous, but I brought my tissue just in case I cry. This has really been an awesome journey for me. I got introduced to the Jennifer House about 8 years ago when I was clean. I had 20-something years clean. And I met two young ladies at a meeting, and they said, come to the Jennifer House. We're having State of the Heart. And I'm like, okay. And they said, we want to invite you to dinner. And so I decided to go. And I was like, wow, this is a beautiful house. You ladies really have it good. I couldn't remember when I first got clean, living in a halfway house that looks like the Jennifer House. Well, I stayed clean for about 23 years, and then my husband passed away. It's been 5.5 years, and I relapsed. And I decided, okay, well, you relapsed, you can pick yourself back up. And I did, and I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I stayed there for 18 months, I stayed clean. And then I found my way back here in Rochester, where I relapsed again. And I decided that being homeless and sleeping at a bus stop wasn't going to be the death of me. I decided at that time that I was going to turn my will and my life over to God. And I did. After I passed out at the bus stop, I woke up in the hospital. I decided at that moment that I needed help. And then I wasn't leaving that hospital without a fight. I wanted treatment. And I stood my ground, and boy, did I stand my ground. I wasn't leaving there. I said, call the police. I'm not leaving here. I want to get clean again. And that's what happened. I left Strong Memorial Hospital, and I ended up in detox. After detox, I surrendered and I went into a rehab. Well, I met this young lady over 20-something years ago at the Jennifer House, and her name was Lisa. And she was a resident there. And I don't know, I just fell in love with her. And being at this rehab 6 months ago, they said, well, we have a bed for you. You can go to the Jennifer House. I said, oh boy, what am I getting myself into? So I said, okay, at that time, I said, I'm going to do anything I have to do to stay clean today. I'm open to all suggestions. I'm going to get that bed. So I have that bed. I'm a resident at the Jennifer House. And I'm going to cry because those ladies come to work. And on several occasions, there's 11 women in that house. And I'm the oldest. But these ladies come in, they show us love, they give us support, they help us build foundations, they guide us into continuing and working on our goals. Today, I can say I am a proud student in training to become a recovery coach. Thanks to the Jennifer. I was a hard cookie to crack, but there was one staff member that gave me a run for my money, Miss Julia. Miss Julia has so much love in her heart, and she understands. Lisa too, Deshawn, you too. But these women are a team. They don't have to be there, but they're there. And they love us with all their heart. They stay sometimes, especially Lisa and Julia, they stay when they don't have to stay. And they make sure that we have the things that we need. And that's some stability, some guidance, and sometimes there's a little yelling going on too. to let us know who's boss. You know, we have to answer to them. They don't have to answer to us. We have to answer to them so that they can continue to guide us where we need to be in life. Because without them, we don't have any guidance. They show us the way, and we have to be willing and acceptable and accepting to do what they tell us to do. I don't think they would lead us wrong. If they did, I wouldn't be here today. And I love them so much. They have so much grace, and they've given me that grace to continue on this journey to become the woman that I am today. I am a graceful, proud, loving, caring mother of 5, and I have 18 grandchildren and 1 great-grand. So you tell me, if I can deal with all that, I can deal with these ladies. And I was just thinking, you know, I didn't have a home when I came back into recovery. I was looking for a church home. Well, I started going to Spiritus Christi. And I don't know, something just touched me. And if it wasn't for the Jennifer House, I would have never got introduced to the Spiritus Christi. It's a team. I went to church and I said, wow, this is my newfound family. I don't talk to a lot of my family members. It's okay. I was going to be a little nervous when I got up here, and I was like, man, I got this. Everybody in here is from church. This is my family. So why be afraid? You know, and I've met so many wonderful, great people along the way. I love you, Todd. I love you, Todd. And I just want to say that this process is a never-ending journey. I have to continue this journey for the rest of my life. There is no time for mistakes. There is no time for no slips, no dips, and weekend trips. I have to stand my ground with this disease of addiction and make sure that my little sisters back there, hi sisters, at the Jennifer House, that we have to help each other and we have to fight this thing together. And that's why I try to get them to come to church every Sunday with me. I set it up where the van would come and pick us up so that, they could find and reach their higher power like I've reached mine. I have a connection with the God of my understanding now, where I have a relationship with him. And I know that he is not going to guide me in the wrong direction. And I always tell myself, I just found this out by watching this service on YouTube. And it said that my joy is my job. So my joy is my job. It's my job to fulfill the joy within myself. No one else can do that for me. You guys are here to help me along the way, but it's my joy. And it's my job to get that joy. I don't know how much longer you guys want me to talk, but I can talk now because I'm feeling comfortable. I see a lot of familiar faces of people that I also met along the way. And I just need to say, I have 6 months and 12 days clean. And I will soon be moving into Flower City, number 2, hopefully next month, at the beginning of the month. Like I said, it's a team with Spiritus of Christi and a prison outreach program. I also started doing volunteer work at the Spiritus of Christi under Reverend Myra. I love you so much. Hi, Lydia. And working with Lydia for the day I worked with Lydia. And it just touched my heart. I'm going to say this, and Ron, you can get up here and sing after me. Going to the Spiritus of Christi touched my heart. I don't know. I don't know. I had a spiritual awakening when I was working with Lydia. She was explaining to me when some ladies came in, and they came in for clothing. And they were from, I think it was the asylum. And they came in to get things. And she was explaining what they had to go through to get to the United States. And I said, wow, here it is that I'm at the Jennifer House because I love clothes and shoes. I said, I'm always saying, oh, let me get that. Oh, let me have that. So I've been barred from getting clothes. But I understand that there are people that need it more than me. So I've come to grips with that. I also had a shopping problem. I don't know if they put me on a contract at the house, but I can't shop. But whatever I have, I make it look good, and I make it look damn good. We have an iron, we have a washer and dryer, and these are the things that they give us. What more could you ask for? We had a hot meal. The heat is always on 200 in the house. It's cold outside. I'm thankful for the heat. There's 2 showers. I don't have to bathe inside the laundromat. I don't have to wake up at the bus stop and go inside the laundromat and just throw water on my face. It got that bad for me. I was like a derelict in the streets, and I wasn't cut from that cloth. My mother raised us to have morals and values, and I have that back today, and I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world. Yeah. I am here to stay, so remember me, and I did see that Barbie movie, okay? And I just want to say thank you for everyone that came out, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, because I love each and every one of you. Even if I don't know your name, I'm going to know your name tonight.
All right.
So ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.
I'm gonna, I feel like her, I'm kind of nervous, but I'm trying to ask myself, how could I be nervous? And I've sung in front of thousands of people. I'm talking about tens of thousands of people. So I'm gonna let the God of my understanding lead me. I am so grateful to Prison Outreach, Spiritus Christi Prison Outreach, and Nielsen House, to all of you, because without you, there would be no Nielsen House or Jennifer House. You guys are my family. I have family, but I also think that you guys are my family. But I want to start this out because Jim was giving honor to the women, right? And the four women that Shannon, Sharon, Elizabeth, and Susan, right? I remember when I was just getting ready to start going to school to become a peer advocate specialist, right? And I didn't know nothing about no computers. I didn't know how to do no essays or none of that. And so in order to get into school, they told me that I had to write an essay. And so I sat down and I did what I had to do. And Elizabeth was the first person I ran into, and I said, I need you to read this. And she went beyond her job, working in the office, and she read it, and she critiqued it. Then when I did get in school, I didn't know how to get into computers. And I went to Shannon, and she helped me to get in there. So I really want to give these women a hand again, because all four of those women, they go beyond their jobs. They help the guys in our house no matter what. They come out in the day area and they help anybody that needs help. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I came to Nielsen House when it first opened on West Avenue. I was the third person in the house. 2009. I was the third person in the house, but I wasn't ready. And I went back out and I did everything under the sun. I was a manipulator, a cheater, a thief. I did all of that. But look at me today.
All right.
Look at me today, though. And it was because of Nielsen House and the people that runs it, and then my peers. They helped me through a lot, because when I first came back last year in May, my name came up in everything. Ron. You know what I'm saying? And then it says contract. You know what I'm saying? Because in these houses we have to do contracts if we do something that isn't of the house. And so my name was coming up, but I just stuck with what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I told everybody after I got there that came after me, grab onto somebody who's trying to do the right thing and hold on to their coattail. You know what I'm saying? Every guy that's been in there since I've been there, that's what I tell them. Because that's what I did. I grabbed onto Rob's coattail. I grabbed onto Luther's coattail. I grabbed onto John's coattail. I grabbed onto anybody's coattail that was able, that I could grab onto. Because I wanted it. The God of my understanding has really been blessing me. I have a brother that's in the hospital, been there for 8 months. I ain't go back out and use. 2 days ago, my nephew had to have a stent put in his heart because 80% of his heart was blocked. I ain't go back out and use. It's all because of what I was taught while I was at Nielsen House. It taught me that I can stand on my own, that I can be a man today. Today, like I said, I'm a peer advocate specialist. I have 16 months clean, without touching the drug. I sing in a gospel group today that travels around the world. While being in Nielsen House, I went on my first cruise, and I flew on a plane for the first time. And I'm 63 years old. Wow. For the first time. It's nobody but God, that's God. You know what I'm saying? That's a power greater than me. There's a reading in AA that I always pick up. It says how it works. And it says, rarely have we seen a person fail who have thoroughly followed our path. You know, and I'm following all of y'all paths because I know that, I mean, I can look around here and see that everybody in here is successful. And that's what I want to be today, successful at whatever I feel like I want to do. You know, it's my life today that I have to take care of. And because I can look around here and see smiling faces, and not no upside down frowns, you know what I'm saying? That makes me happy. That makes me want to keep doing what I'm doing today, you know. I'm just grateful to this program because it has really changed my life. You know, I live in Flower City too. And I've been there for 3 weeks, and I think I've only had probably 5 visitors, but that was my nieces trying to straighten my house up. You know, telling me where I need to put this, and as soon as they leave, I put it right back where I had it at. It is so amazing, though. You know, I lost a son to the disease of drugs. You know, it's been about 17 months now. You know, and it hurts though. You know, but I still have 3 that's living, and today they see their dad. You know that isn't using drugs, and when they call on me, you know, I used to say they let me put my 2 cents in, now they let me put 17 cents in. All right. You know what I'm saying? They calling me for things, asking me about different things, you know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel good to be able to do that. My nieces and nephews, they call and ask what we're supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? That makes me feel good inside, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I like to do, because I don't like talking.
Sing this.
But I found out, you know, as this was coming up, I just kept trying to find out a song that I could sing, right?
Yeah.
And the song that came to me said is that his eyes is on the sparrow, a little bird, right?
Well.
And if he's watching the little bird, he's gonna watch over me too.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna sing just a little of it for you, and I'm gonna sit down, okay?
All right.
Why do I feel discouraged? And why do the shadows come? Why do my heart feel lonely, so lonely? For heaven is my home. Since Jesus is my portion, and a mighty, 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 mighty good friend is he. For his eyes are on the sparrow, and I know he watches over me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. Whoa, his eyes are on the sparrow, and I know he watches over me.
I'm speechless for once. Hold on. Okay, I'm not going to sing. Don't worry. Wow. I guess it's all been said. Yeah. Okay, wow, amazing. And this is why we are here, not only to celebrate, but to raise funds to keep our amazing homes in this ministry going for 100 or so years more. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to ask Luther and Marley to join me for a minute. Come on, guys.
All right, all right.
That was for the Nielsen House table. What do you have it for? Is it yours? Oh. No, you're good. Yeah, come on. So. We're going to end the kind of the official part of the evening with talking about our safe harbor, we call Safe Harbor Nights, and that is the wonderful nights that we provide to our residents at Nielsen and Jennifer House. And Marley, I'd like to ask you to come up and tell us a little bit about what a safe night means to you at Jennifer House.
Before I came to the Jennifer House, I was homeless, and I was trying really hard to go into shelters and stay with friends, but not having a safe foundation for my recovery was really a struggle. I was able to put together the 5 months that I have. It wasn't easy, but at rehab, I didn't do it on my own. And that whole time, Lisa was there fighting for me. Having my really good friend was somebody who paved the way. Moving into that house has allowed me to not have to worry about surviving every night and finding a place to stay and feel safe. It's allowing me to build a foundation with God. They support my spirituality and my religion, which is beautiful. I have love and support from the women that I haven't had probably ever. And I'm getting so many new friends and family because of it, and I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marley. Now, Luther.
Well, Safe Harbor Night meant to me. See, you can see it. I'm still here. I'm clean and sober. I can remember getting right out of jail, going right up to the 383 West Avenue in handcuffs. And they didn't take me out of those handcuffs until I got inside the door. And so once they did that, it was like, I got a warm bed. I got food, real food coming from, that was just, I got a shower with some, with soap, not that soap that just dry your skin right out until you're flaking, but I got real soap that was moist. That meant a lot to me. Food, having a clean pair of socks. That was, in a bed, not a mat in jail. You ever slept on one of those mats? Who slept on a mat in jail? I came out with all kinds of back problems and everything, but I got to a soft bed. It was just so much. I can't stop talking about what it meant to me. That's why I'm still sober today, because I remember that same day like it was yesterday, that when I was at the door at homeless and all that, but Spiritus came into the jail to take me out of the jail and bring me into a home, because I didn't have a home at that time. And the love and support, that they gave me. And each and every day, I want to do the same thing for somebody else, because it's needed, it's wanted. And the love that we have and the compassion that they have for me, I would love to give it back, and I am giving it back to the same people that were struggling just like me. So, Safe Harbor Night.